looking at it, when we were looking at inclusion around young people, so say what did we need when we were, and we just picked 16, could be 15, 14. But what did we need when we were 16? And it was alluded to by Joe there, it's not necessarily to be part of structures and to be part of formalised events and that kind of stuff. It's actually just having fun, being involved with stuff, engaging, you know, in different things. So, and trying to explore the life, engaging in school life, homework life, friends, youth services and so on. So, yeah, what did you have in your life? So this is where young people having fun. There's a mixture of youth leaders, volunteers, staff, young people and all sorts of things in this. So that's just depicting about just really sort of having some fun. We move on to the next couple of ones. There was a study done in 2006, inequality and stereotyping of young people, and young people didn't see themselves as having any say whatsoever in decision making. And I just put that up there because I was just thinking, have we changed that since then? And it'd be interesting if we did another study with the same sort of young people or similar young people, would it have changed now? Because the last couple of years we're talking about, you know, critical thinking, we're talking about fighting and policies and that kind of stuff, but I wonder has it changed, so hopefully it has. And I suppose from our point of view, in our project, we tried to create a culture in the project. So again, just another example here of young people. There's a mixture there of adults, young people, volunteers, again, staff, there's Gardaí, there's all sorts of people there on an annual planning weekend. And one of the key things for us around, I suppose, social inclusion, again, thinking about today, is having results. And it's been mentioned a few times today about action, results, seeing change, and that's the carrot, I think, for the young people to continue on. So it's seeing results and valuing the work, and I think to value their work and how we value the work that we all put in is to see change. There's no point, you know, again, someone mentioned there about having young people on forums and boards, or maybe you're taking young people's input and saying that's lovely now, and we leave that there and we do what we're going to do anyway, you know. So from a youth work role, you can go on to the next one, there's some of them are a bit slow in slides for some reason. Our role, I suppose, as youth workers and youth works in practice, you know, one of it was mentioned there earlier on as well, and it's a word I've heard mentioned a few times recently, it's a significant adult in a young person's life. And I think, and we're all fantastic youth workers, and I think we were, you know, saying that, you know, we are often the significant adult in young people's lives, and how they get involved. So I suppose part of our role and our responsibility is writing up the good practice that's there, because when you say young people to people who don't work with young people, you kind of, yeah, hello, yeah, okay, yeah, we hear them, but we really want them involved. And I suppose we need to, as practitioners, be advocating on behalf of young people constantly and writing our stuff, developing the policies along with young people and trying to affect the change that the policies might form. And I suppose we have to keep continuing to fight and to believe in what we're doing is right, and to believe in what we do is going to work. And again, I suppose we can change attitudes, you know, and again, I suppose it's about belief. Go on to the next slide. We can believe in that. And this looks as though it was performed for this picture, but it wasn't actually. That was a junior leadership training program, and Adam was just performing his piece of participation. And I suppose one of the things, we talk about participation and engagement and involvement and, you know, having an input for young people, but really we need to support that. You know, and I suppose one of the things that we probably do often is get young people out there doing stuff, and maybe they're not as prepared as they could be, or not as prepared as they probably should be for some of the negative attitudes towards young people that's out there. So around supportive participation. And I suppose, again, and we believe in our project, I suppose we believe in young people, and we believe that we can make change. And again, I think, maybe this is why we're sitting there and what we're thinking around the community. Often our role as workers is helping to make change in the community around the young people that we're working with. And I suppose seeing young people where they're at, as opposed to sort of just assuming that young people want to be included and young people want to do this and want to do that. It's about where they're at, what they're at the moment, what other factors are affecting them in their lives at the moment. So we need to kind of try and create that equal platform where they can get involved in real discussion. There's a couple of our young people there discussing issues with some challenge to students there that were with us on placement. And again, having relevant outcomes that's relevant to young people and not relevant to us, because often I think we stick around agendas, not young people. We believe in young people and their abilities, you know, and that they're members of the community today. And again, it's often waiting on young people to get older before they can make a contribution, or waiting on them to get older before they can get involved in this and that and the other. And we're sort of, you know, saying, no, it happens now, it has to be part of your culture. and it has to be kept fun. Again, that's, you know, this group of young people are working on the project, and again, there's guards, there's volunteers, there's teachers, there's young people, and all sorts of different people in that photograph. And it's just about being together and doing stuff together and having an equal role in what we're doing. The other, I suppose, thing from our point of view is around, you know, knowledge is a powerful tool. And we can go on to the next photograph there as well, around, you know, if we can keep young people informed, the knowledge that we have, I suppose, as practitioners, and be able to sort of spread it around and share with young people and others in a way that they understand and is relevant to them, I suppose, in their day, around their opportunities, you know, creating opportunities for them to gain knowledge. And I suppose taking as well from young people, from their own life experiences and their own experiential learning, that they see things very differently to us and very differently to each other. And I suppose as practitioners, one of our skills is to try and identify where young people are at and what's relevant to them and what level they want to engage with or be included in. Yeah, I suppose again, just inclusion is about the here and now, listen to young people and the contribution that they're making at this stage. And that's, I suppose, come back there to, as practitioners, the biggest thing that we need to do, I think, is record what it is that's going on, record the good practice, record, you know, the good examples of where young people have been involved and made really positive changes. The where to begin, I suppose, is again where young people are at. For this group of young people that's shown there, these are performance songs that they wrote themselves around life experiences for themselves. And these four lads were four key players in putting this together, and it was so that was how they expressed themselves out there and how they became involved in their community. It wasn't about sitting on a youth forum, and it wasn't about being on Young Doll and O or whatever other structures and organisations are there. And some of these, like, and I asked Darryl, but I just mentioned Darryl, the young lad there in the middle. He's lived in the area that we work in for all his life, and we met him 2 years ago. He never engaged, he never came out before, but we created, it was a music programme, so he was into music and someone met him somewhere and told him to come over. And he's now teaching young people the guitar, and he was one of the key players in organising that event. So he's, from where he's at the moment, he's very much included and very much sort of, you know, taking part in his community, and hopefully it's going to continue on. In fact, he's involved in an international programme now as well, just because of his involvement playing his guitar, you know. And again, the same with the three girls there, Lauren, Jodie and Hayley, again, they came together, they produced some stuff, and they're teaching young people guitars and stuff as well. For the next group then, these are young junior leaders, and these were a group, you know, where they're at, they were interested in learning and training and doing sort of more formal stuff, in the sense of sort of from a youth practice point of view. They now lead and run programs themselves, and again, that's where they were at, you know, in their timeline. I just purposely put Danielle and James here. Again, these are two young people that are involved in the project for a long time, and it's part of our award. So with the former Philippine president there. Danielle and James, they made an application to O2. They've always been involved in different things. They've developed their confidence, they've developed their skills and their abilities and so on, not just through ourselves, but through their lives in general. They're quite active. And go on to the next slide, you can see they made, and the next one, they made an application. This was an old corner shop we had called Hound's Corner Shop. The two of them were councillors with Dublin City Council themselves, with O2, with ourselves as practitioners. Oh, they worked alongside us as a completely equal partners and made applications, and they produced this, you know, along with us, which is our new youth cafe from Enterprise Centre, and that's actually real. We've just opened that this year, and we've an upstairs now, and we've now made another application to create a youth, a purely youth cafe upstairs, because we have to share the space with an Enterprise Centre. But that's, you know, from people's inclusion and stuff, and where they're at. And then I suppose again back to just run down to the next bit as well, is around sort of, you know, the biggest thing for young people is they don't have the same fear that we have as adults, and they chance anything, they chance around anything. And we say, oh Jesus, no, don't, you know, oh God, no, you know, and they say, sure, you know, they're gone, you've done it, and it's happened, and it's been brilliant, and you know, so, and I think sometimes we actually hold it back as adults. We're afraid of where they're going to go. So, and they cope much better with change than we do, that's what celebrity was in the centre there a while ago, and I'm not talking about Angus. Young Reese again. I asked young Reese, just could I just mention, young Reese he's a little bit older than that now in that photograph. He's in trouble every second day with the law and in school, and he still comes down with ourselves and gets the law. He's still does not sure where he's at, you know. And there he is presenting. Did a fantastic job of presenting the youth awards at Angus. And actually, Angus McNally, I was so impressed with him, actually had him doing other stuff with him afterwards and stuff, because he's really cheeky, like, you know, and but he's still there, he's still involved, and he's still doing stuff, and where he's going to go, we don't know. And again, from a youth work point of view, all we're doing really is supporting him through wherever he's going in his work. And I suppose the last thing, or last message I leave us with is, inclusion to us is around, you know, creating culture in our organisation. It's not always easy. Our organisation particularly is quite a conservative organisation, and to get young people on board is like, no way, Judy couldn't, there's too much big things to be told about up in the board and that kind of stuff. So we've created a structure in the board, a substructure where they are involved and they have their input. You know, I suppose, so recognising where they're at the moment, recognising the input that they make, you know, acknowledging their life experiences and what's important to them at any given time. And I suppose beginning where they're at and then developing that to wherever that they move on to. And I suppose we're saying it's everyday life, and you can just continue through them. They're just words we had up around young people, you know, the vibrancy, the creativity, the skills and the abilities. And I suppose the last slide then is just that it's everyday life, and it's about the culture, and it's about including them in everything from the age of 5, 6, making the decision on what's going to happen in their club next week, to, you know, creating a youth cafe for other young people in the area. So that's it.